Let's talk about AI in finance. I mean, it's one of the biggest leaps in productivity we've seen in a long, long time. It can model, it can forecast, and it can analyze stuff at incredible speeds. But, and this is a big but, that exact same power makes it a perfect tool for corporate espionage. So that helpful assistant you're using, it can very quickly become a double-edged sword, creating these massive and often totally invisible risks. Okay, let's dive into this.
And just so you know, everything we're about to cover today comes straight from Chapter 5 of a really comprehensive tutorial on AI data extraction threats. It's published by Virtualization Options LLC, and we're going to focus specifically on the unique challenges that finance and accounting departments are facing right now.
All right, let's kick things off with a number that should get everyone's attention. $12.4 million. According to the source, this is what a financial data breach costs a large company, on average. We're not just talking about losing a file here, we're talking about a catastrophic financial and competitive hit. The stakes really couldn't be any higher. So why the huge price tag? Well, it's pretty simple. Finance and accounting departments, you guys manage the most sensitive numerical data in the entire organization. I mean, we are talking about the keys to the kingdom, the core intelligence that defines a company's strategy, its performance, its weaknesses, everything. And that makes you a prime target for these new AI-driven attacks. Now look at this, because it breaks down exactly what attackers are hunting for. If they get your revenue forecasts, they know your business momentum. If they get your cost structures, they can see all your operational weaknesses. Your budget allocations, well, that's basically a telegram spelling out your strategic priorities. And your investment plans, that's the whole roadmap to your future. In the hands of a competitor, every single one of these pieces is absolutely devastating. So how does this actually happen? How does a helpful tool for a financial analyst become an intelligence-gathering machine for an adversary? Well, it's not about one single mistake. It's about some pretty sophisticated techniques that exploit the very nature of how you, as finance pros, use AI for your daily analysis, reporting, and forecasting. The source lays out 4 really clever ways that attackers turn AI against you. It's not some brute force attack. It's more like they're solving a puzzle. First, they use financial model reconstruction, basically figuring out your entire playbook from the little assumptions you feed the AI. Then, they use variance analysis exploitation. This is where they trick the AI into explaining why you missed a target, which reveals all your operational secrets. From there, they move on to budget commentary mining to sift through all your notes and rationale, which uncovers your strategic thinking. And then finally, forecasting data leakage. This is where they put all those puzzle pieces together to literally see your company's future before you do. And this right here shows you exactly where those puzzle pieces are found in your day-to-day work. Think about it. When you're prepping for a quarterly earnings call, you're explaining variances. That's a goldmine for an attacker. When you're developing the annual budget, your team's commentary is being mined for strategic intent. And when you're modeling a new pricing strategy, you risk having that entire model reverse engineered. These aren't just tasks on a to-do list. They are attack surfaces where the crown jewels are left exposed. And look, this isn't just theoretical stuff. The source gives a powerful, real-world scenario that shows just how damaging this can be. It's a story about being completely outmaneuvered because your strategy was leaked before you even had a chance to execute it. Just listen to this quote from a CFO. He said, "We were blindsided when a competitor launched a pricing strategy that perfectly countered our planned approach. Turns out, a director had used an AI to model different pricing scenarios, and in the process had input cost structures and target margins. That conversation history got compromised, and it basically handed their entire strategy to a rival on a silver platter. The damage was done long, long before they even knew they were exposed." And that leads to this next figure, which is just staggering. 156 days. That is the average amount of time it takes for an organization to even detect that its financial data has been compromised. That is over 5 months where an adversary can use your own intelligence against you while you are operating completely in the dark. Okay, so that's the problem, and yeah, it's a really serious one. But the good news is there are concrete, actionable steps you can take to defend against these threats. The source material lays out a really clear and logical framework for how to protect yourself. Here are the 4 pillars of that framework. It all starts with absolute prohibitions, things you just never, ever do. Then abstraction requirements, which is a new way of thinking about the data you input. That's followed by technical controls, like segregated AI instances. And finally, process controls, like approval workflows. Let's break each of these down. First, and honestly the most important, absolute prohibitions. This is a clear, hard red line. Your teams have to be trained that actual revenue figures, specific profit margins, M&A details, cash balances, none of it should ever be entered into any AI system. Period. This isn't a suggestion, it's a foundational rule. It's non-negotiable.
So, you might be wondering, how do you use AI for analysis without putting in the raw numbers? Well, the key is a concept called abstraction. So instead of using absolute figures, like a specific revenue number, you use percentages or ratios or indices. Instead of this quarter's actual sales, you'd use the year-over-year percentage change. This lets you leverage the AI's analytical power without exposing the sensitive data underneath.
And finally, the framework details specific protocols for those really high-risk periods. This means doing things like implementing AI blackout periods during the quarterly close. It means using completely air-gapped systems for annual budget development. And by air-gapped, I mean computers and servers that are literally physically disconnected from the internet and any other company network. And it means requiring manual, human-only preparation for the financial sections of board materials. These aren't just best practices, they're absolutely essential safeguards. So, we end with this question, which really gets right to the heart of the matter. Is your AI assistant building your business, or is it exposing it? The very same tool that can build unprecedented efficiency and insight into your financial operations could also be systematically exposing your most valuable intelligence. The key isn't to stop using AI, it's to implement the rigorous framework needed to make sure it's working for you and not for your competitors.